The Lane Libraries provide materials, services, and technology aimed at satisfying the curiosity, intellect, and imagination of our patrons. Today, we're going to explore the Lane Libraries Community Technology Center, located in downtown Hamilton, Ohio.
My name is Amanda Toth. I am the manager here at the Lane Community Technology Center. I am very excited to welcome you to our brand new location of the Tech Center. We just moved in here last year and it is a beautiful building. I can't wait to show you all about it. So the Technology Center is very interesting in that we are a Lane Library location. We are part of the library system, but we have zero books or anything, actually any items for people to check out. Here we provide technology and staff knowledge to help patrons learn how to use the different things that we have. We have 3D printers, a glowforge laser cutter, we have a Cricut, we have a sewing machine. We have so many things for people to come in and use and learn about, and it makes us very unique, very special, and I hope you will come and visit.
Now, you recently moved from a building right next door. So what is different between your past location and the building we're in right now?
Yeah, so we actually doubled our space. We have a lot more space to do programming. Instead of having to close down one of our computer labs in order to teach a class, we have an actual classroom. Instead of having the glowforge tucked away in a closet where there was no ventilation whatsoever, we now have an actual glowforge room, like workroom, where people can go in, sit down next to it, work on their project, and see it happening. We have an actual makerspace with gorgeous natural lighting as well as fluorescent lights, so you can see things as you're working on them. The building itself is more visible, but what makes me the most excited is the space that we have, that we can grow and develop, and people can actually do things here.
My name is Matt, and I have been with Lane Libraries for about 8 years now. I started off in the Tech Center, and now I am a systems administrator. The building we're currently located in, it used to be the old Journal News. One of my favorite things to do is take new employees to the basement and show them some of the features that were there from the Journal News. You can sort of see where the old printing machines were, and most notably the tracks for moving the large sheets of paper and being able to rotate those big things before getting them onto the freight elevator. And all those relics are still down there, and it adds fun to the history of the building.
What software do you have on your computers that's different from the software that you might find in other Lane branches?
A lot of it has to do with the software that's available on the computers. There is a wider selection of software, and often software can be installed if needed on the computers here, whereas that's not often the case at the other branches. And then we also have a makerspace that has a wide variety of tools available. We also provide Adobe Creative Cloud on a few of the computers here. And those are things you're not going to find elsewhere.
Matt was part of the staff that first opened the Tech Center. Can you tell us a little bit about what that was like?
It was nerve-wracking. Starting off, everything was new. I didn't really have a whole lot of experience with the more maker aspect of the Tech Center, and so everything I had to learn as I went, and it's just one of those keep ahead of what you're teaching.
My name's Amanda Chafin. I'm the Public Services Librarian here at the Lane Community Technology Center.
What is your area of expertise?
I pretty much manage the makerspace. The makerspace is actually really useful. Sometimes people just go in there and paint. I've helped people fix like a flashlight before. They'll come in and something will be wrong with their iPad or something, and we actually have precision screwdriver kits back there so that you can actually get into your devices and fix them, work on them. So there's actually a lot back there that you can do. But our main things would be the Cricut. We've made some really cool things on the Cricut. I helped a lady set up like two of her, she had some baby showers coming up. She made custom decorations for really cheap using the Cricut, the glowforge, and the 3D printer. I even helped a teacher. She came in and she was like, Amanda, can we 3D print an equation? I actually was able to help her with her lesson plan, set up a way to write an equation, solve it, come up with a 2D graph, and convert that into a 3D object. It was really not something I was expecting to learn how to do, but hey, I can 3D print an equation. Other things that we have in the makerspace, these are really cool. We have little Arduino starter kits. We also have some Raspberry Pi starter kits. We have sensors, we have LEDs, we have various kinds of sensors. We have like buttons, we have jump wire, we have soldering irons, we have all kinds of things in there that you can play with. And we may or may not have what you need or be able to help you with your project depending on how in-depth it is, but you would be surprised.
If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to drop us a like or hit the subscribe button. You can also give us a shout out on Facebook. If you're interested in learning more about our services and programs, come and visit us at www.lanepl.org.
Most people aren't familiar with what a glowforge does. Can you explain the types of materials that can be used on the glowforge and what it actually does?
Yeah, sure. So the glowforge, you need to have organic materials in it. So you want to stick with something like wood. We've actually had somebody come in and use leather, which ended up being absolutely beautiful. So what it does is it actually etches and engraves the wood. The laser will cut into it and create burn the design that you want to be on there. People have done some amazing things with it. Somebody just did some family trees that looked gorgeous. Someone else did a family crest that was beautiful. The person who used leather actually made patches for his leather jacket. I say organic materials, that's the safest option. You can technically engrave on other things, but it is very particular because it is burning the item. So always make sure to ask us if there is something you want to try, and we can go through and explain what is and is not okay in there.
A couple of things that you can do with the glowforge that it doesn't use organic material. There are like very specific materials, and we completely have to check them before you use them. But you can use acrylic. You can actually cut and etch acrylic. And there's also one kind of craft foam called EVA. But it has to be EVA. It can't be any other kind of foam. And sometimes it's packaged weird. So it'll say it's that kind of foam, but then when you look at the tag on it, it's not. So you have to be very careful to get the right kind of foam.
What is your favorite piece of equipment in this building?
Oh, that's tough. I honestly would have to go with the 3D printer. And that is because honestly, it's so cool. It takes little plastic strings basically and makes an object. I have a planter that looks like Oddish, the Pokemon, and then I made on the 3D printer. People have made such amazing things on it. You can do so much with it. And even when a print doesn't come out the way it should, it's still kind of fun to play with. So definitely worth checking out.
What's the difference between the PLA and then?
Well, there are all kinds of different filaments that you can use, and they all have different properties. We here use ABS, PETG, and PLA the most. We also use some MTL, and we use some wood filament. So they all have different properties. The wood filament, for instance, is a regular PLA, just regular plastic filament with, which I think stands for polylactic acid, and it has little tiny bits of like sawdust, little bits of real wood in it. So when it extrudes, it gives more of a wood-like finish. They're all different, all the filaments, but it's all basically just plastic that you're melting and into a shape.
How much does it cost for a 3D print?
So it used to cost 5 cents per gram, so it really depended on the weight of the object. But right now, 3D printing is completely free for people to use.
What has been the most difficult project a patron has asked you for help with?
I think the most difficult project I faced was working on the 3D prints from scans that were taken of objects done on an archaeological dig. We don't have a 3D scanner here, and so all the files that we got were way more triangles than we're used to having in the objects for our 3D printer. So our software wouldn't even open the files he gave us. I was able to find a piece of software to reduce the number of triangles in those objects, and we got those broken into pieces that would actually fit on the 3D printer, and we actually have one on display here still as a gift for all the work we put into it.
What types of physical equipment can people use in your AV lab?
We have a green screen, we have softbox lights, we have a few tripods, a few different microphones, including a shotgun mic. We have 2 cameras, one of which is newer, one of which is kind of older. We have a light box, which is really cool if you're doing like product photography. We have the editing bays. We have 3 different editing bays, one of which is set up for audio. And there we also have an isolation booth, and that helps with sound dampening when you're recording audio.
What's the best kept secret about this location?
All right, this is partially the manager in me, but also I firmly believe this, and that is the people that we have here. The staff that we have at the Tech Center are brilliant. We all have our own different specialities, from graphic design to art, technical writing, technical stuff in general, obviously because we're a tech center, all of our digital resources. I'm not saying we have, a person that will, we have somebody for everything, but we also, the people that we have here are so smart, so brilliant, so willing and eager to help people that, they will, we will figure out what we need to do to help you the best we can.
What is one thing that you really want all of your patrons to know?
I think I would want patrons to know that while we may not be able to answer every technical question that they have, that we will do everything in our power to find them an answer and help them to get moving on whatever issue they're working on.
If you would like to learn more about any Lane Library's locations, come and visit us. We would be happy to see you.